You gotta stop counting yourself out before anybody else even has. Are these people in your life because you actually love them and they hold value and they add value to your life? Or are they in your life because they have a certain title? When you envision the best version of yourself, what does that look like? Y'all, there's always room for improvement. And she said nothing works unless you do. And y'all, when I tell y'all that is true. What is up, you guys? It's your girl Cecilia and I'm back with another video today. As you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about how you can become the best version of yourself in 2023, how you can reinvent yourself, glow up, become that girl if you're a girl, or that guy if you're a guy. It's February 1st today and we are already a month into 2023, and I think that a lot of people, at least me, have played with themselves so much before that it is time to really kick ourselves in gear and get this shit going. If you guys are new to my channel, be sure that you subscribe if you enjoy my content and hit the bell so you don't miss any more of my uploads. And without further ado, let's get into this video. All right, y'all, I'm going to give y'all steps on how you can become the best version of yourself this year in 2023, okay? We're going to elevate yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and then you're going to elevate your lifestyle this year. So these are going to be my tips. The first thing that you want to do is you want to envision the best version of yourself. Like, what if you think of like the most ideal, highest version of yourself, what does that look like? How do you feel about yourself? How do you look at yourself? How do you look? Where do you live? Who's in your life? What kind of car do you drive? Do you travel? What does that best and highest version of yourself look like? Because if you don't know, you're not really going to be able to move with purpose in your everyday life. And how are you supposed to get better if you're not moving with intention? So envision that version of yourself. And honestly, y'all, you need a notebook or an iPad or whatever it may be. Take notes, because honestly, sometimes it's easy to think about these things when you're watching a video or you see something about it on social media or you just think of something. But really taking those notes and really evaluating, pause the video if you have to. Pause the video if you have to and take notes, because the way that I can say all these things and you can agree or you can think, oh yeah, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. But if you don't have something to go back to really evaluate, maybe you'll forget some things. So take notes if you need to. But what does that best version of yourself look like? You have to come up with the answer to that first. In every aspect, like down to such a detail. Like, are you one of those girls that has a eucalyptus plant in the shower? Because I'm trying to become that girl. Y'all, I need to find some eucalyptus. But anyway, do you have eucalyptus in your shower? Do you have a skincare routine? Do you drive a luxury vehicle? Do you make 6 or 7 figures a year? Do you live in a high rise? Do you live in a big house? Do you have a significant other? Even if you already have a significant other, what ways could you improve that relationship? Think of the best and highest version of yourself and what that looks like, down to like in a big picture way, but also down to the details, because the details do matter. The next tip is going to be grateful, because in whatever capacity you have already grown to a certain point. Like, even if you felt stuck, even if you feel like you're in a rut, in some way you've grown to get to where you are right now in this very moment watching this video. So be grateful for that, because you can't change, good or bad, the things that you've already done or haven't done in the past. So be grateful for where you're at, but don't become complacent. Like, for instance, okay, let's say one of your goals is to hit a certain number financially, right? And it's like, okay, you hit the goal, and then some people become complacent and they stop trying and they stop thriving. Honestly, there's such a thing that you could have all this stuff, you could have all this money, and you could lose a job tomorrow, or something could fall through tomorrow, God forbid, for any of us. But something like that could happen, and you have to know that you still have it in you to work and strive and thrive to be better every day regardless. So don't ever become complacent with where you're at right now either. And that doesn't mean just financially, y'all. You want to strive to be better physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, but all those other aspects, they also really do matter, because yourself as a whole is what's going to go with you through life. If you just focus on the money, but you don't work on your emotions or your mentality or your physical self, those things, it's gonna get all fucked up. You gotta consistently work on little bits of each part of yourself. All right, y'all, I don't know about you, but I made a vision board for 2023, and if you haven't, that's fine. But if you have, keep it where you see it. You gotta write your goals down. If you don't write your goals down, you just have in your mind like, oh, I wanna lose weight. Oh, I wanna make this amount of money. Oh, I wanna travel here. It's easy to just think of it when you think of it. If you write it down and you have it in a place that you're seeing it every day, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, it's gonna stay in the forefront of your mind. Just honestly, even if it's a subconscious thing, you don't realize you're looking at it, but it's constantly keeping your mind focused on what it is that you're trying to achieve. Write down your goals. Make a vision board, make it look cute, make it look pretty, make it functional, make it somewhere that you're gonna see it all the fucking time. I shouldn't have swore, but make sure that you're seeing it. That's going to keep you on the move and keep it in the front of your brain rather than like in the back. And then December 2023 comes and y'all, you haven't made the progress. I just read the book. Here, I have it right here actually. It is called You Owe You by Dr. Eric Thomas. Y'all, if you have not read this book, or if you've not heard him speak, you're missing out. You gotta check it out. The book, I said this was gonna be my January book, and I got a little carried away for like 2 weeks out of the 4 and didn't read. And so last night, I was up until 2 something in the morning because I was determined to finish this before I went to bed so I could start February 1st with my next book. But y'all, this book has some gems, and hold on, let me find it. All right, y'all, it's a quote by Maya Angelou, and Eric Thomas references it in his book, and it says, nothing works unless you do. And y'all, when I tell y'all, that is so true, because I think that I used to think I could have all these goals, and like if I just thought about them and I believed in them, and don't get me wrong, manifestation is real and it is important, but if you don't put in that work, nothing is gonna happen. Like nothing is gonna work unless you're willing to work for it, if that makes sense, which should make sense. Otherwise, we got a whole nother situation going on. So you got to figure out those goals and figure out a plan. How are you going to achieve them? How are you going to create this best version of yourself? You want to envision it, but then you have to break it down to like, okay, well, what does it actually take to become that person and to have those things, if things are something that are important to you, or have this lifestyle or have these relationships, whatever it is, how are you going to get there? You got to really break that down in your mind. All right, y'all. Now this one is tough. At least it was for me, is for me, can be for me, for you, for anybody. You got to evaluate the people in your life. When we're younger, it's such a thing that you want to have the most friends you can have. You want to be friends with everybody and anybody, right? But as you get older, and I had a teacher tell me this, and it stuck with me for my whole life. She said, if by the time you're an adult or grown, right, if you have 5 solid people in your life, you are considered to be very, very blessed. And now thinking about it, 10 years later, that is fucking crazy that she was my teacher 10 years ago. But shout out to you, Mrs. Lemansky, if some way, somehow you ever see this video, because you honestly impacted my life in a way that I don't think you even realized. But she used to tell me that because I used to be friends with all these different people and all these people that were just doing all this crazy ass shit. And it didn't align with me, but I just wanted to be friends with everybody. So I just kept everybody in my face and around me, and I was in their face. And so evaluate the people in your life. If someone just holds a title, like I think that a lot of time people in our lives hold a title. Either they've been a childhood friend, or they're a parent, or they're a sibling, or they're a cousin, whoever it might be. People think that they don't have to keep up those relationships because they hold that title. Like even if you never talk to your cousin again, they're still the cousin. They're still your cousin, right? You got to evaluate those people, because I think that people that have a certain title in your life, they take advantage of you in some ways, or take advantage of your time, your energy, your efforts, and they can have to go too. Honestly, you can cut friends off, you can cut people off, and I'm not out here suggesting, oh, you got to cut everybody off to elevate your life, because that's not always the case. But some people bring bad energy, bad vibes, bad all that, and that might sound really cliche or just stupid, but it's true. If you tell someone, you know, I'm becoming an entrepreneur, and they're like, girl, you need to go ahead and get a job. It's like, okay, so who the fuck are you? Because when I make this shit happen, I'm not sure you're gonna be trying to say something then. Some people can't play such an important role in your life for you, and it doesn't mean you don't love them or you don't care about them. It just means that what they have in their mind as far as life doesn't match all the way, and it's not always going to. But that means that sometimes you have to move you have to protect yourself and your energy, right? So sometimes you do have to move people around and where they sit in your life, good, bad, or indifferent. That's just a fact, honestly. I just had to really think about this. I don't know why but I really had to think about this the other day, y'all. Stop counting yourself out before anybody else even has. I think that for a lot of opportunities, okay, I think it's called imposter syndrome. I don't know, probably, but I don't know. But stop counting. Okay, so let's say you want to go for a job, or you want to go for getting approved for a house, or even a person that you're trying to talk to as far as like a date, whatever it might be. Sometimes we as people, me specifically, will get in our head, okay, so like let's say I'm gonna go for this job, and I know that on paper I am way underqualified for the job, but I also know the ins and outs of the job, and based on my experience that I've had, I really know I could kill it, right? Apply for that fucking job. Because I think that a lot of times we will go in our head and we will come up with these reasons why we can't do it, why we're underqualified, why somebody wouldn't pick us. Stop doing that. Let somebody else tell you no. And when somebody else tells you no, don't take it as like such a hard thing. Take it as a way for you to reevaluate, reassess, and go at it again. Because if it's something that you really have set in your mind, you can't tell me that you can't do it. Like, I don't care what it is. I have a cousin, y'all, that was told, and I wrote a paper about this in high school, y'all. He was told as a child, and I hope I say this right, arthrogryposis, right? And so basically what it is, and if you see this and I'm wrong, please forgive me. Or if you have arthrogryposis and I'm wrong, y'all, please forgive me. But it's basically you have fiber between your joints, right? So your joints don't bend the proper way. So he was told he would never walk. He had braces on his legs as a child, arms, legs, different ways, had so many surgeries. And he would always tell me, like, I'm what, probably I'm 8 years older than him, I think it is, 8 to 10. He would be young as hell, and we would be like sitting, he loved to swim, we'd be sitting like in the pool, whatever, when he was young, and we had a conversation about how he was told he couldn't, like, wouldn't be able to walk. And I was like, okay, like, to me, I'm like, oh my God, how, like, that's terrible. How do I console this person, this child that is telling me that? And y'all, he looked at me and said, no, I'm gonna be able to walk. And I'm like, who the fuck can tell you can't? Honestly, at the point at which this child is looking me, my cousin is looking me in the face, and doctors have told him, surgeons, physical therapists have told him he will not be able to walk. And he looked at me and said, no, I'm gonna be able to walk. I think I might become a cop or a football player. Y'all, when I tell you, I was like, you know, part of you wants to be like, okay, maybe he just doesn't understand, he's a child. But no, the way he was explaining that, he knew what the fuck he was talking about. And when I tell y'all, he walks now. He's now 17 years old, about to go to college. He has been on the fucking football team, y'all. It could literally bring tears to my eyes. But when someone counts you out or says no, don't take it so personal. If you know you can do that shit, do that shit. Reassess, realign, reevaluate, and fucking go at it again. And I'm sorry for my language, y'all, but it is just something that is so powerful about doing that for yourself. You got to do that for yourself in this life. So stop counting yourself out. In 2023, honestly, oh my God, I gotta tell y'all. My best friend, she was telling me about this thing called rejection therapy. And I think I've mentioned it in another video. Get used to being told no. Because either something isn't supposed to happen at that very moment, you're supposed to do something differently in order to achieve it, whatever it may fucking be. Get used to being told no. And so rejection therapy is basically just like going out into the world in these different crazy wild situations and do things that there's a good chance you could be told no, but the thought process is like, what if you're not told no? What if they don't tell you no? Who knows what you could achieve, but you got to stop counting yourself out and giving yourself a no before you even get a no. So that was kind of a little tangent. Those are my tips on how y'all can reinvent yourself and how I'm going to continue to reinvent and glow up and elevate myself this year in 2023. Like I said, people are about to be giving up on their goals, their New Year's resolutions, and we are not doing that. Every month, y'all need to be checking in. Every week, I don't care if it's every day. Check in with yourself and make sure that the things that you're doing every day are aligning with where you're trying to go. My best friend, she also told me this. A year is just a year if you're not working on yourself. A year can go by real quick. But also, if you work on yourself, so much can happen in that fucking year. So do that for yourself this year, because I'm going to do it for me. And we're going to get to the bag. We're going to get to the physical, the mental, the spiritual elevation all year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.